Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We are continuing the reading of William Walker Atkinson's book, Thought Vibration. We are on chapter 14, Thought Vibration by William Walker Atkinson. Let's continue the reading. This has been a great book. I loved the last chapter, chapter 13, Desire Force. If you missed any of the previous readings, they are all on the playlist here on the YouTubes. If you are watching this somewhere else, I encourage you to come over to YouTube and join the party. All right, let's dive in. William Walker Atkinson, Chapter 14, The Great Dynamic Forces. Dun dun dun. All right. You have noticed the difference between the successful and strong men in any walk of life and the unsuccessful weak men around them. You are conscious of the widely differing characteristics of the two classes, but somehow find it difficult to express just in what the differences, where the differences lie. Let us take a look at the matter. Buxton said, "The longer I live, the more certain I am that the great difference between men, the feeble and the powerful, the great and the insignificant, is energy and invincible determination. A purpose once fixed and then death or victory." Wow. But that's how it is. I personally believe that we have to take an all or nothing mentality in our life. Very black and white. And life, of course, is not black and white, but I think it is. Like, I meant emotionally, like internally, but like, I don't know, the more I study and the more I learn about myself, if we want to be successful, we must be very black and white. All or nothing. And that does sound dramatic, but I'm talking to the people who want to reach high heights. People who have dreams that are not as, not to compare dreams, but like the bigger the dream, the deeper the divide, like the stronger the intensity, the urgency, the passion, the drive, the magnificent obsession. And that's like all in. The greater the all in you have to be. It is all or nothing. And so if you say, well, it's not that dramatic, well, then your dream is not that intense, or it needs that all or nothing mentality. But I find the only way my life works is if I am super, super clear within. I have made that decision. It is all or nothing for me, at least. That's what works in my life. It might be different for other people. It might be different for you. And I'm jealous because I wish it wasn't that way, but it is for me. So he's saying the longer I live, the more certain I am that the great difference between people, the feeble and the powerful, the great and the insignificant, is energy and invincible determination. A purpose once fixed, and then death or victory. All or nothing. Burn the boats. Really? Decision has that kind of quality, to decide, like you're cutting off and killing the other option. That quality will do anything that can be done in this world. And no talents, no circumstances, no opportunities will make a two-legged creature a man without it. That's funny. Let me read that again. No talents, no circumstances, no opportunities will make a two-legged creature a man without it. I do not see how the idea could be more clearly expressed than Buxton has spoken. He has put his finger right in the center of the subject. His eye has seen into the heart of it. Energy and invincible determination. These two things will sweep away mighty barriers and will surmount the greatest obstacles. And yet, they must be used together. Both energy and invincible determination. Energy without determination will go to waste. Lots of men have plenty of energy. They are full to overflowing with it. And yet they lack concentration. They lack the concentrated force that enables them to bring their power to bear upon the right spot. Energy is not nearly so rare a thing as many imagine it to be. I can look around me at any time and pick out a number of people I know who are full of energy. Many of them are energy plus, and yet somehow they do not seem to make any headway. They are wasting their energy all the time. So before I go on, he's talking about our ability to use the faculty of our will to harness all of this energy towards one thing. When we're focused on one thing to the exclusion of all others, we are focused, we're determined, we're decisive. We know what we want, and we harness and marshal and focus all of our energy on that thing. Think about when you procrastinate and then one day you're like, screw it, I'm going to finally clean out the garage. You put all of your energy, attention, and focus and you knock it out. Or if you're a student, and how many times have I procrastinated on doing my assignments or writing a big paper? I will procrastinate and then all of a sudden I will say, this is the day. It's like the last day, like Saturday, it's due Sunday. And I will spend all day Saturday doing it. Like I'm putting all of my energy, attention, and focus on it, and I knock it out. That's how things get done. But I don't like living that way. All right. So he's saying, when we do not, so we're wasting our energy all the time. He's saying he sees all these people with energy, but they lack focus and concentration. Now they are fooling with this thing. Now meddling with that. Okay, so he's saying like they're fooling with this thing, meddling with that. They will take up some trifling thing of no real interest or importance and waste enough energy and nervous force to carry them through a hard day's work. And yet, when they are through, nothing has been accomplished. This is like, if you feel like you're trying, you're doing everything, your wheels are spinning, but nothing's happening, you keep going in circles. That's what he's talking about. Others who have plenty of energy fail to direct it by the power of the will toward the desired end. Invincible determination, those are the words. Do they not thrill you with their power? If you have something to do, get to work and do it. Marshal your energy and then guide and direct it to your will. Bestow upon it that invincible determination, and you will do the thing. Everyone has within him a giant will, but the majority of us are too lazy to use it. We cannot get ourselves nerved up to the point at which we can say truthfully, I will. If we can but screw up our courage to that point and will then pin it in place so that it will not slip back, we will be able to call into play that wonderful power, the human will. Yeah, so he's saying if we can get our courage up, get that will in place and don't let it move, we can harness that power, the human will. Man, as a rule, has but the faintest conception of the power of the will. But those who have studied along the occult teachings know that the will is one of the great dynamic forces of the universe, and if harnessed and directed properly, it is capable of accomplishing almost miraculous things. That's the truth. So, you know how I always use that image of the mind here? Oh, here we go. This is the other one. All right, so using the image of the mind, we have the conscious thinking mind, the subconscious feeling, we act, and then we get results. And then these are our 5 physical senses: see, hear, smell, taste, touch. These are our 5 lower animal senses. Every animal has these 5 senses. A horse can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Our dogs and our cats have these 5 physical senses. But if we want to use our higher faculties, our intellectual faculties, which reside in our conscious thinking mind, perception, the will, which we're talking about right now, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition. So perception, our ability to see things in a new way. We can shift our perception of something and literally it changes because we change the meaning. Reason, our ability to think on our own, create our own thoughts. Imagination, our ability to imagine, image making in our mind, filled with emotion, but the pictures we hold, every thought has a picture, and the pictures we hold, the thoughts with emotion, create in our life. Memory is huge. Workshop of our mind. Memory, our ability to recall the past events and learn. And remember how we want, like pruning shears of revision, like Neville Goddard talks about. Like, we can revise the memory, truly. We can't erase what happened, but we can revise the way we, that's what therapy is about, right? EMDR, when we process and we put new meaning on a memory. And intuition, that sixth sense, that still small voice, the spidey sense. But we're talking about the will here. So these are one of our higher faculties, our creative faculties. This is what creates in our life, not the 5 lower senses, but most of us allow these to create us. And like, we allow what our 5 physical senses are taking in to create us. We let our 5 physical senses, what we take in from the outside world, living from the outside in, we live from the outside in, meaning what comes into our 5 physical senses dictates what we think, what we feel, how we act, and our results, which lead to more of the same. Do not let your 5 physical senses dictate how you think, feel, and act. It's just observing what already is. If you don't like it, do not take in that data. Don't. Think for yourself. Use your reasoning, your higher faculty in here. So shut these out and start using your 6 higher faculties to create. Living from the inside out. You're living from the inside out, not from the outside in. So the faculty of the will. It's our ability to focus, harness all of our energy, focusing on one thing. So he's saying everyone has within him a giant will, but the majority of us are too lazy to use it. Well, really, we're not taught about it. We cannot get ourselves, worked up to the point that we can really say, I will do this. I can and I will. It says man, overall, humans, have but the faintest conception of the will. Like, we are not taught about these 6 higher faculties, but he's saying people who do study these occult teachings, they understand this great dynamic, the power of the will. It's one of the great dynamic forces of the universe. And if harnessed and directed properly, it is capable of accomplishing almost miraculous things. I always use the example, think of the will as a laser beam. Like, there's a lot of light in this room, but the light in this room, like the light coming from my lamp, is not strong enough to cut through glass. But if I take all of the light in here and I harness it into one laser beam, it's strong enough to cut through glass. So same light, different focus. Because right now the light is just dispersed. But if I take all this energy and I focus it into one laser beam, it becomes strong enough to cut through glass. Same with our thoughts. Don't let your thoughts wander. Don't drift. Don't let your thoughts go here and there and blah, blah, blah. Focus on one thing. What do you want? Get obsessed. Have a magnificent obsession. You know what? I swear, I'm going to start getting wild with my teachings. Like, mostly for me. Of course, I teach what I need to learn. Every teacher should. Whatever. I don't care what other teachers do. I love good teachers. They're students. I don't even consider myself a teacher. To be honest, I'm just a student and I share what I learn. And it helps me. I do this because it helps my ass. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, I know not everybody is extreme, right? And I know that I don't know, can be triggering, because it used to be for me, like, life is black and white, man. And the more I operate from that mentality, the easier life is for me. But we live in a world of duality. It is quite literally this or that. And I think we get into trouble when we think we can, fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? Energy and invincible determination. Aren't they magnificent words? Commit them to memory. Press them like a die into the wax of your mind, and they will be a constant inspiration to you in the hours of need. Energy and invincible determination. Energy and invincible determination. Remember, whatever you impress, you express. Energy and invincible determination. Energy and invincible determination. Let's do it. Let's press that in like a die into the wax of our mind. It'll be a constant inspiration to us in our hours of need. If you can get these words to vibrating in your being, you will be a giant among pygmies. I like how he says this. If you can get these words to vibrate into your being. Remember, every cell in our body is vibrating. Well, what information is encoded into our cells? It's like, I can go off on so many tangents. We talk to our cells 24/7. Every cell in my body has information, like basic information to run my body. But memory, like there is memory in my cells, like the body keeps the score. All of my trauma, my good times, my bad times, my self-image, my thoughts, my beliefs are like embedded. They are planted. They are branded into me. Whatever I'm impressing is being branded into me. He's saying, press energy and invincibility into energy and invincible determination, press it into our minds. Well, we're pressing into our minds all the time. We are always thinking. Whatever we impress, we express. Like, we are constantly taking in information, or our mind is always, chattering, and we are always impressing onto our subconscious mind. Always, 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 always. And so our subconscious mind is really our body, by the way. So this really is our body, the subconscious mind. This is my subconscious mind. I was just talking to somebody today about this. Like, we are only consciously aware of 5%. 95% is our subconscious mind. It's our programming. It's our emotions, right? We feel our emotions in our body. We're nervous in our belly, in our chest. Like, our body is our subconscious mind. It is a walking mirror. And that is why when you start to study yourself and really understand how the human psyche works, how human beings work, we can't hide anything. We are walking subconscious minds. Like, you see an image of me, you are looking directly at my subconscious mind of how I think about myself, how I feel about myself, how much water I've been drinking, the nail color I have, the choice of earrings, like how I'm presenting, how I'm talking, how comfortable I am. This is all due to what I believe, what I think, and what I feel in my subconscious mind. And I'm so grateful. I also heard somebody was talking about how social media is really personal development. Putting yourself out there online is the biggest, most radical form of personal development. It's like public speaking. I think, the 5th year since I started the YouTubes and started doing these things. It's been 5 years and I post almost every day. And I made that decision. I don't care how many likes, how many follows. I'm going to do it till the wheels fall off. And I'm so grateful I made that decision because it put my mind in the right spot. I am so comfortable. I mean, you guys have seen, whoever's been there are times when I'm like, I don't edit these. I used to edit. I still do some edited videos, but the fact that I am so relaxed and it is not lost on me. I'm so grateful because I wasn't like that. I remember my very first YouTube video. I wanted to die. I wanted to crawl in a hole and bury my head. I felt so stupid. Who am I? I was so embarrassed. I just wanted to crawl up in a ball and disappear. But I remember thinking this is a part of it. Thank God. I remember I was studying with Bob Proctor at the time and I could just hear his voice. Like, it's a part of it. You're breaking your paradigm. You're getting out of your comfort zone. You're breaking through the terror barrier. And I just remember chanting that to myself. And he's like, just keep doing it. And I did it. And here we are. And it's been a process, but wow, it's like, put yourself out there, speak your truth, and own it. Wow, I'm just so grateful. I not know what this side tangent was on. Oh, about vibrating. These words, the words we speak, every cell vibrates and they are encoded with information. Our body, we are a walking reflection of our subconscious mind. How we behave, how we show up, how we present, our body language, everything, how we speak. What words are on repeat in your mind? What are you listening to? What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of accounts do you follow? kind of movies do you watch? They start to vibrate in your being. And remember, like, our emotions, like energy and motion, like vibrating at a very fast rate, like our vibration is how we feel. And that, my friends, the law of vibration is a primary law. Whatever you are vibrating at, you will attract similar vibrations to you. It's like if you've ever seen one of those, I think I have it here. Oh Lord, do I have it here? Let's watch it together. It's been a while since I played this. But, you know, we all know about the law of attraction, but that's a secondary law. The law of vibration is a primary law. And the law of vibration, like attracts like. Like vibes attract like vibes. I'll find it right here. I will find it. Teaching slides. Where is my video? It's probably on my hard drive. It's right here. Always find it. Everything works out for me in the most miraculous ways. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is a video that this man has a tuning fork, right, at certain vibrations, and one of them is 440 hertz. Let's watch this together, shall we? So remember, how you feel is dictated by how you think. The words and your thoughts will dictate your vibration, how you feel. And how you feel will determine what you attract. So we don't really have to work at the law of attraction. We don't really have to work at the law of attraction. We only have to focus on the law of vibration, because the law of vibration will dictate what we attract. So we think, we feel, we act, we get results. Classic cognitive behavioral therapy. We think, we feel, we act, we get results. But this is really how it is. Oh, well, I have it here too. We think in our conscious thinking mind, we feel in our subconscious mind. Depending on how we feel, we act. Depending on how we act, we get results. But what's really happening is this. We think, we feel, we vibrate, and we attract. We think, we feel, we vibrate, we attract. Isn't that great? So let's watch this video together. All right, can you guys see this? Let's move it down. So he's trying to activate the 440 hertz tuning fork, but that was a that same vibration, same frequency. It activates, but the other one didn't. So let's watch that again. So the first one was 512 hertz, trying to activate 440, but it's not working. But the similar activates. I love that example. Don't you? Isn't that fun? I'm a visual learner. All right, let's get back to our book. So every cell vibrates. Words, he's saying, if you can get these words to vibrate in your being, you will be a giant among pygmies. Say these, is that politically incorrect, pygmies? Say these words over, and this book is written over 100 years ago, by the way. Remember the comment about Mormons the other day about polygamy? Times have changed. Okay. Say these words over and over again and see how you are filled with new life. See how your blood will circulate, how your nerves will tingle. Make these words a part of yourself, and then go forth anew to the battle of life, encouraged and strengthened. Put them into practice, energy, and invincible determination. Let that be your motto in your workaday life, and you will be one of those rare men who are able to do things. Isn't that funny? It's a rarity for people to be able to get things done. Yeah, this is just putting fire under my booty. Like going all in, man. Like stop pussyfooting around. Stop beating around the bush. I just feel this. It's been a theme in my life. You know, I'm very open about my, struggles with addiction. And that is very all or nothing. Either you're sober or you're not. My life did not work when I used to drink. Even when I used to try not to drink, I was still flip-flopping. I would be sober for a while, I would drink for a while. I'd be sober. It didn't work. I had to stop altogether. All or nothing. It has to be nothing. That's the only way I work. Now, in my mind, we're talking about emotional sobriety, mental sobriety. I cannot afford to start going down spirals and indulging negative thoughts. Will I have intrusive negative thoughts? Of course, I'm human, but I will not indulge them. I will not. All or nothing. You shall not pass. I am getting so serious about this. Zero tolerance. And I can already feel resistance from people, but then I'm not your people. I am for people who are done looking around and finding out. I'm done with myself. And I love the people that I attract, whether it be any of the people that I work with, coaching wise or therapeutically. Like, I even put it in my profile about therapy. I am the coach. I am the therapist you go to when you are ready to heal and change. I am not the one to hash it out with. I was not given that grace. I'm not helpful. Of course I am, but like, I'm really here to make that change. All right, he's saying, get these words all up in our system. Our blood will start flowing and circulating. Our nerves will tingle. Make these words a part of yourself and then go forth into anew into the battlefield of life. We will become people who actually do things. Let me move this over here. Many persons are deterred from doing their best by the fact that they underrate themselves by comparison with the successful ones of life, or rather overrate the successful ones by comparison with themselves. Hello, social media. I know we all do it. We compare ourselves with people's highlight reels, their curated lives. Nobody's life is like that. But some people are attracted to that because they believe that's true. If they want to believe a lie, go for it. I'm not that type of person. It's a facade. And I don't blame people. If you want to live in that world, go for it. And I even get it sometimes. I remember, like, well, I don't want to focus on the negative and I don't want to talk about the negative. That's fine. That is not the type of person I am. I definitely do not harp on the negative, but I do not hide it either. And to each their own. To each their own. So he's saying many people are deterred from doing their best by the fact that they underrate themselves by comparison with the successful ones of life, or rather overrate the successful ones by comparison with themselves. One of the curious things noted by those who are brought into contact with the people who have arrived is the fact that these successful people are not extraordinary after all. I always remember Barack Obama said that. He goes, when you start to hang around people, royalty from around the world, people with money, successful, people with high titles and rankings, he said, once you start sitting at the table with these people, you realize they're just people. And some of them aren't all that smart. One of the curious things noticed by those who are brought into contact with the people who have arrived is the fact that these successful people are just normal people. They are not extraordinary after all. That's literally what Barack Obama said. You meet with some great writer and you are disappointed to find him very ordinary indeed. He does not converse brilliantly, and in fact, you know a score of everyday people who seem far more brilliant than this man who dazzles you by his brightness in his books. You meet some great statesman, and he does not seem nearly so wise as lots of old fellows in your own village who waste their wisdom upon the desert air. That's the truth. You meet some great captain of industry, and he does not give you the impression of the shrewdness so marked in some little bargain-driving trader in your own town. How is this anyway? Are the reputations of these people fictitious, or what is the trouble? The trouble is this. You have imagined these people to be made of superior metal and are disappointed to find them made of the same stuff as yourself and those about you. But you ask, wherein does their greatness of achievement lie? Chiefly in this, Belief in themselves and in their inherent power, in their faculty to concentrate on the work in hand when they are working, and in their ability to prevent leaks of power when they are not working. I almost just choked. That sounded weird. Sorry. Listen, just today I was talking to someone and they are a creative, and we were specifically talking about actors. And I was noting that there is so much work and new content being made with all of the different streaming services and social media channels, that the amount of work for actors has tripled and quadrupled. And I'm just saying work in general. It doesn't have to be like 5-star top of the A list, but just work in general. To be a working actor, you do not have to be Meryl Streep or Denzel Washington. You have to only believe in yourself. I was saying, how many people do we see, whether it be on TV shows, commercials, streaming services, that were like, they're not the greatest, but like they'll do compared to whatever. If you can show up and be professional, know your lines, and have confidence, you're in. But that's the problem. It's the confidence and the belief in themselves. That's why a lot of artists don't succeed. But if you want it, all you have to do is believe in yourself. Have the faculty to concentrate on your work. Prevent the leaks of power from those negative thoughts when you're not working. My good gracious. So much is coming up with this. I'm going to read this again, you guys. This was so good. God. So he's saying, you meet with some great writer, and you are disappointed to find him very ordinary indeed. He doesn't converse brilliantly, and in fact, you know a score of everyday people who seem far more brilliant than this man, who dazzles you with his brightness in his books. You meet some great statesman, and he does not seem nearly so wise as lots of old fellows in your own village, who waste their wisdom upon the desert air. You meet some great captain of industry, and he does not give you the impression of the shrewdness so marked in some little bargain-driving trader in your own town. How is this anyway? Are the reputations of these people fictitious, or what is the trouble? The trouble is this. You have imagined these people to be made of superior metal, and are disappointed to find them made of the same stuff that you are, and everyone around you. You are no different than anybody. We all can tap into this universal consciousness, this one mind, infinite intelligence, as Napoleon Hill calls it. There's only one mind. There's 8.5 billion brains. You can tap into that. Whatever it is you want to do. The trouble is this. So why does this happen? Are these people's reputations fictitious? What's the problem? The problem is this. You have imagined that these people are made of something special. But they're made of everything you are. But then again, you ask, well, where does their greatness? Why are they great? Where does their achievement? Why are they successful and I'm not? This is why. Because they believe in themselves and in their inherent power, in their higher faculties, in their faculty to concentrate, their will on their work. And when they're not working, they prevent these leaks, these distractions of power. They believe in themselves and make every effort count. It's mindset that sets people apart. Everything is mind, my goodness. Your village wiseman spills his wisdom on every corner and talks to a lot of fools. When, if he really were wise, he would save up his wisdom and place it where it would do some work. The brilliant writer does not waste his wit upon every corner. In fact, he shuts the drawer in which he contains his wit and opens it only when he's ready to concentrate and get down to business. The captain of industry has no desire to impress you with his shrewdness and smartness. He never did, even when he was young. While his companions were talking and boasting and blowing this future successful blowing, this future successful financier was sawing wood and saying nothing. I love this. This is the difference between people who talk a big game, but they do nothing. They think that their talk, they make big promises, they tell you what they're going to do, and you look at the results and you see them a year later, you're like, so whatever happened with that book? And they're like, oh, I'm still working on it. It's like, the fuck? You execute on nothing. All you do is talk, and that's what makes you feel good and big and special. How about you shut up and start getting to work? While his companions were talking and boasting and blowing, this successful financier was sawing wood and saying nothing. That's why they say, like, go rogue for 6 months. Post nothing, say nothing. Just be quiet and do the work. You know, work is not sexy. It's not fun. That's why a lot of people don't do it. I love that. We need to saw wood and say nothing. Do the work. The great people of the world, that is, those who have arrived, are not very different from you or me or the rest of us. All of us are about the same at the base. You have only to meet them to see how very ordinary they are after all. But don't forget the fact that they know how to use the material that is in them, while the rest of the crowd does not, and in fact even doubts whether the true stuff is there. That's why it's important to study your mind and how it works, these laws of the universe. It's not even woo-woo. It's just like, it's so objective and like, just, again, laws of the universe. Does the land, the dirt, the soil have to study how to grow seeds? No, it just does it. It has within it. It just allows the seed to fall in and the sun to grow it and the water to nourish. That's like us. We have everything in us. We have every material we need to grow any seed we plant. Don't doubt it. I love that. He says, these people who are special, they know how to use what's in them. The rest of the people who don't succeed, they doubt whether they have this stuff inside of them. We all have it. The man or woman who gets there and achieves usually starts out by realizing that he or she is not so very different after all from the successful people that they hear so much about. This gives them confidence, and the result is they find out that they are able to do things. Then they learn to keep their mouths closed and to avoid wasting and dissipating their energy. They store up energy and concentrate it upon the task at hand, while their companions are scattering their energies in every direction, trying to show off and let people know how smart they are. Oh, this is good. The man or woman who gets there prefers to wait for the applause that follows deeds accomplished and cares very little for the praise that attends promises of what we expect to do someday or an exhibition of smartness without works. This is literally what I was just saying. The person who gets there keeps their mouth shut and doesn't just talk. People that don't get anywhere and their results never happen are the people who want the praise of what they plan to do. Someday they talk big talk. One of the reasons that people who are thrown in with successful men often manifest success themselves is that they are able to watch the successful man and sort of catch the trick of his greatness, like by osmosis. That's why it's so important to hang around like-minded people, get in a mastermind, get into rooms with people who are successful. Oh, it's so important. He's saying one of the reasons why people who are thrown into the arenas of other successful people often manifest success themselves is because you become closest to the 5 people you surround yourself with, is because they're able to watch this successful person and catch the trick. It's like it rubs off on them by osmosis. They see that the person is an everyday sort of person, but that he thoroughly believes in himself, and also that he does not waste energy, but reserves all his force for the actual tasks before him. And profiting by example, they start to work and put the lesson into practice in their own lives. Now, what is the moral of this talk? What is the moral of this TED Talk? William Walker Atkinson, please do tell. Simply this: don't undervalue yourself or overvalue others. This is actually in the Big Book of Recovery. Do not put people on pedestals or in pits. Make everyone right size. Don't think you are above or below someone. Make yourself right size. Don't put people in pulpits or in pits. Keep everybody level. Everybody is the same. Don't undervalue yourself or overvalue others. Realize that you are made of good stuff and that locked within your mind are many good things. Then get to work and unfold those good things and make something out of that good stuff. Do this by attention to the things before you and by giving to each the best that this is. Do this by attention to the things before you and by giving to each the best that is in you, knowing that plenty of more good things are in you, ready for the fresh tasks that will come. Put the best of yourself into the undertaking on hand, and do not cheat the present task in favor of some future one. Your supply is inexhaustible. Your supply is inexhaustible. Did you know that? I love that. Your supply is inexhaustible. And don't waste your good stuff on the crowd of gapers, watchers, and critics who are standing around watching you work. Save your good stuff for your job and don't be in too much of a hurry for applause. Save up your good thoughts for copy. If you are a writer, save up your bright schemes for actual practice. If you are a businessman, save up your wisdom for occasion. If you are a statesman, and in each case, avoid the desire to scatter your pearls before the gaping crowd that wants to be entertained by the free show. Don't throw your pearls to swine. Don't take your precious energy, attention, and focus and give it to people who couldn't care less. Give it to people who don't give a shit. Nothing very high about this teaching. Perhaps, but it is what many of you need very much. Yes, sir, it is. Stop fooling and get down to business. Stop wasting good, raw, mental material and start to work making something worthwhile. William Walker Atkinson, Chapter 14, Thought Vibration. Oh, that was a good one. What did you guys think of that? I bet if he was writing today, that would be titled, F around, stop effing around and finding out. When you f around, you find out. Stop wasting your potential. Channel it towards something. Go all in. Go ham. Get obsessed. A magnificent obsession. You like that? What are your thoughts? Share with me. Thank you all. If you missed any of the previous readings, all of the playlists are under Thought Vibration by William Walker Atkinson, along with all of the other books I've read. Our epic Elsie Lincoln Benedict book, How to Get Anything You Want. We have The Science of Getting Rich, Think and Grow Rich, Neville Goddard books. We got lots of fun stuff. And if you're into the spiritual stuff, A Course in Miracles, which is wild. It ain't for everyone, y'all. Anyways, this has been just a treat. Thank you for being here. I love you all.